Good day, viewers at home. Welcome to another wonderful episode on Classic Show. I believe our last episode you are well informed, transformed, and educated. Today is another wonderful episode again on Classic Show. My name is Ambassador Samuel Anolua, your host for today on Classic Show. And I have here with me a wonderful man, a dignitary in the house, Pastor Dr. Felix Duyelemi is an author, a coach, and then a pastor. He's the founding pastor of Christ Classic Global Ministry. And then he's an author. He has authored so many books. He's the author of the best-selling award book that says How to Borrow God's Brain to Succeed. He's also the author of It's in You. He has authored so many books, and then part of them are what how to do what to borrow God's brain to succeed. It's in you. Kill your fears and not your dreams. And then it's an honor to welcome with me on the show today, Pastor Dr. Felix Duyelemi. Pastor Dr. Felix, you are welcome on the show today.
It's an honor to be on the classic show, Ambassador Sam. I'm quite excited that this show is going to inspire so many people, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, viewers at home, we've heard, and then today we'll be talking on a wonderful topic that says, Dare to be extraordinary. Dare to be extraordinary. You want to become extraordinary in an ordinary society, how to become extraordinary in a delayed society. Dr. Felix, now, my question to you on the show today is, how do we become extraordinary in an ordinary society? Or what is being extraordinary on its own it is?
Thank you so much. Dare to be extraordinary, as you know, is the title of my last book, Dare to be extraordinary. Now, if you look at that word, that title, Dare to be extraordinary, what he's saying is that you have the capacity to be extraordinary. So it's like somebody is daring, is saying, now push it forward, dare to be extraordinary. So, what does it mean to be extraordinary? You know, extraordinary is a combination of two words, extra and ordinary. And most people are living ordinary life. Most people are living ordinary life. Most marriages are ordinary marriages. Most lecturers are ordinary lecturers. Most children are ordinary children. So the book, the essence of the book is to help people to shift from being ordinary to being extraordinary, to adding extra to their ordinariness. And the capacity to be, it's already in you. Of course, that is the title of our other book, It's in You. So you have what it takes to be extraordinary.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Felix. And then, viewers at home, I hope you are getting along with us. And then today, I'll be throwing some questions to Dr. Felix on the show today. And I know that Dr. Felix is ready for us this today. Now, sir, how can you become extraordinary?
Okay, to become extraordinary, the first thing is to realize that you were created to be extraordinary. Self-awareness is the beginning of anything you want to do or become in life. If you are not aware that you are extraordinary, you will tend to live your life in an ordinary way. So, for you to become extraordinary, you need to realize that first and foremost, at the default level, you are extraordinary. So if you look at my book, Dare to be Extraordinary, the first thing I said in that book is, before you read this book, say 100 times, I am extraordinary. Say it, I am extraordinary. So when you wake up in the morning, you tell yourself you are extra. Do you know the reason why? Because we live in a society that conditions us to be ordinary. We live in an environment that conditions us to be ordinary. So most time, most people don't know who they are. And so if you don't know who you are going to settle for what you are not supposed to settle for. So once you know who you are, that you are extraordinary, then it's easy for you to start living an extraordinary life. And if you look at the fact that you are extraordinary is established on certain premises. So it's not motivating. Most of when people say, oh, you are extraordinary, they feel that you are trying to psych them up. No, you are not psyching anybody up. I'm not saying anything to you when I say you are extraordinary. I'm not saying anything that you are not. I'm just trying to open your awareness to who you are. One, you were created by an extraordinary God. And so if God created you, then God must have created an extraordinary human being. So you are extraordinary because an extraordinary God created you. You are a product of God's ingenuity. You are a product of God's creativity. You are you are an afterthought of God's thoughts. So you are the best version of God. That is why the Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, that when it was time for God to create man, God said, come, come, let us make man. Let us make man in our own image. I made. In other words, God says, let's make man from our imagination. So you are a product of God's imagination. And he said, after our likeness. The word likeness means after our essence. After our essence. So if God is a creator, let's make a being that will be a creator after our essence. If God is a winner, let's make a being that will be a winner after our essence. If God is a champion, God is saying, let's make a being, who will be champion after our essence. So, in other words, once you understand the fact that you are from God's essence, you are from God's substance, you are a product of God's properties and God's characteristics, then it is easy for you at this default level to settle on the fact that you are extraordinary. It's beside that like father, like son, like mother, like daughter. A king can only give birth to a king. A dog can only produce a dog. A bird can only produce a bird. An elephant will give birth to an elephant. So when God created you, He created you to be God. No wonder Psalm 8, verse 4 says, what is man that thou art mindful of him? You have made him a little lower than the Elohim. In other words, the Bible writer, they put, you have made him a little lower than angels. But that was not there because they are too afraid to say man is a little lower than God. So what is there is not angels. From the original Hebrew, the word angels there is Elohim. In other words, you have made him a little lower than the Elohim. And you have crowned him with glory and honor. So when you understand your foundation, then it's easy for you to accept the fact that you are extraordinary. Number two, you are extraordinary because you have an extraordinary brain. Should I shock you? In your brain is 100 billion neurons. 100 billion neurons. 100 billion neurons. In your brain is about 100 trillion synapses. So what that means is that if your brain were to be a country, your brain will be a confluence of 10 billion houses in your brain. And then the network, the synapses are the road networks that connect one house to another. Your brain is a masterful architecture of a brilliant work of an engineer. And if you want to look at the memory capacity of your brain, do you know what? If you were to put all the memories in the world, all the information in the world, and put them into DVD, your brain will be a stack of DVD that reach from heaven to heaven, from earth to heaven 10 times. That means that you are going to have a stack of DVDs that can get from earth to heaven 10 times. before you can match the memory and the storage capacity of your brain. Should I shock you with the processing capacity of your brain? If your brain were to be a library, your brain would be composed of 100 billion librarians, each processing about 100 billion books simultaneously. That is the incredible capacity of your human brain. Should I talk about the capacity of your mind or capacity of your spirit? I think we should stop there.
Dr. Felix, thank you for that. No, we have not even started yet. We are still in the introductory part. So, and then Dr. Felix has already do what dive in fully into the topic for today. But before that, sir, now we are in an environment that let me say has already defeated one person 1-0. He has already defeated an human being, let me say an average Nigerian 1-0 already. You are born into a Nigeria, that's 1-0. You are born into a poor family background, that's 2-0. And then your environment also, where you grow up from, that's 3-0. Now, how can someone become an extraordinary person in this kind of environment?
Thank you. You have raised a very important point, and that's why we are doing this. This program, I believe, is already creating an awareness that even though you were born in an ordinary environment, that does not remove your excellence. Even though you were born in a poor home, that does not make you poor in essence. Now we are looking at your essence, not your environment. And of course, the environment has a way of reconditioning us. The environment has a way of making us to settle for the ordinary. It's likely that all your life, all the people you have seen, they be ordinary people. And it's like a story of a, an eagle who was born among chicken. No, eagles were not meant to peck the ground. Eagles were meant to fly. But this eagle was born among chicken. And for the rest of his life, for the first few years or days or months of his life, he has spent it among the chickens. So he pecked the ground for food. And he settled for that ordinary life until a time comes that one time this eagle looked up and saw an eagle soaring in the sky. And he looked around and said, I'm not like this chicken. I look more, I resemble more like this bee flying on the sky. And the chicken around him said, don't look up. You were born among us. You were born among us. You were raised with us. Forget about that. You don't have the capacity to fly high. Chickens don't fly. But the truth is that eagles don't peck the ground. So this continued for a very long time until one day this eagle looked up again and saw the mother eagle soaring in the sky. And something within him was telling him, I was not made to be a chicken. Something is telling me that I too can fly. And then what did he do? He started flapping the wings. And to his surprise, found out that he was lifting off the ground. And then off the ground. And off the ground. The first kilometer off, second kilometer, third. And then before you know it, he's in the sky. He looked down and he saw the other chickens. And he looked and said, no. So it means I have settled for the life that I was not supposed to live all this while. So your condition, your environment, your situation, Nigeria could to a larger extent redefine who you are because you are not aware of who you are. But what we are saying based on this show that we are having is that you are meant to be an eagle. You are meant to be an eagle. I want something in the book, Dare to be Extraordinary, that God has created all of us to fly. God has created all of us to fly. Where does He put the wings? Where does He put the wings? In our mind. You ready? He put the wings in our mind. So by exercising our mind, we discover that there's an eagle in us, and we can fly. We can fly. We can fly.
Thank you very much,
I hope I'm
Doctor.
not too excited on your show.
Thank you. I love that. I love that. Because even viewers at home will be learning something from this show. Now, sir, coming to personal belief now. Even though many people have gotten that awareness that they are extraordinary, but because of some programming thoughts that they have been programmed with while growing up, it has been some limiting belief into them, like they are not meant to be here. They have allowed the voice of their environment to create a strong goal in them, that they can't move beyond this thing. No, let them settle for salary job, let me settle for this so amount. How can that person be conditioned his mind again?
Programming is a very powerful construct that limits quite a number of people. It's true that the environment, like we mentioned the other time, has a way of programming people to settle for the ordinary. In fact, some people never know or don't know that they are created for more. They are not aware until you start flapping that wings of greatness in you. Until you start daring and say, me too, I could be great. A lot of people don't believe that they can become millionaire. A lot of people don't believe that they can become billionaire because the environment has pegged their salary. Until you are level 17, you can be making 500,000. So now imagine somebody who has spent almost 20, 40 years in service is now getting 400,000 and all of that. And so an ordinary person feels that there is no hope for me in this kind of system. But thank God now, because people have started thinking ordinary people can become an extraordinary being by exposure. Programming is a very powerful tool. Somebody program you to believe you are ordinary. For you to deprogram yourself, you need to listen to other programs. And that is why I believe that this show, the classic show, is important for people to listen to it. This is a way of reprogramming people from what the society has programmed them to becoming the person they were created to be. Right? And if you look at the book, Dare to be Extraordinary, the first thing I ask my reader to do is to say for 100 times, I am extraordinary. What are they doing? They are deprogramming themselves and reprogramming themselves to believing that they are extraordinary.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Felix. Now, our viewers at home, lastly, before we go on the show today, I still just have one question for Doctor on the show today. Now, sir, can we know some of the limiting beliefs that have been programmed in some people's mind that has allowed them to be limited in some certain area?
Oh, that is very important. In fact, your beliefs is everything. There is no reality outside your belief. Henry Ford was the one who said, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can, you are right. If you believe you can't,
You are so right.
you are right. And Dr. Felix said that if you believe possibility, if you believe impossibility is possible, if you don't believe possibility is impossible. In other words, your belief creates your reality. It's unfortunate that instead of people to have empowering beliefs, what they have is limiting beliefs. Human being thinks about 8 to 24,000 thoughts every single day. Every single day. However, more than 60% of these thoughts are negative. Because you live in a negative, saturated society. Our society is saturated with negatives. And that is why we need to raise lots of positives. So limiting beliefs like, I can't,
I can't go
I
beyond this level.
can't. Nobody in my family has ever become great. So I can't become great. In my book, Ixinu chapter 4, the title of chapter 4 of the book is Stop With Me. Nobody is great in our family. It stops with me. Nobody is rich in our family. It stops with me. I can't. Nobody has ever made it in our family. It stops with me. My father abused my mom, it starts with me. My mother abused my father, it starts with me. Right? And I say with me. It begins with me. Success, abundance, productivity, creativity, excellence, mega success, all begins with me. So that way, you are reprogramming the limiting belief and you are turning them to empowering beliefs. So instead of saying I can't, wake up in the morning and say I can't. Another one is I don't. I don't. I don't have the time. You want to go back to learning, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the opportunity. Keep telling yourself what you don't. Say, I do. I found out that the most powerful vocabularies in the world is the two words, I do. Do you know that you will never get married if you don't say that two words? I do. Say, I do.
I do.
I do. So it's that two words that made the pastors or whoever signing a certificates to sign it. Imagine on the wedding day, after all the preparation, and the pastor or the judge in court or anybody in charge of the marriage says, will you not take your wife as a lawful wedded wife? You care for her and nourish her, and everybody is expecting you to say, I do, and you just mistakenly say, I don't. Do you think that the wedding will proceed? No. The same way, life has made opportunity for you. It's just expecting you to say, what? I do. Say, I do.
I do.
I do. So another limiting belief is saying, I don't. Another one is, I am too old or I'm too young. Do you know that life is always very tricky? When you were young, people say you are too young to start. When you are too old, people say you are too old to start. In my book, Wake Up Your Destiny, there's a story of a man I wrote about. This man lament at the end of his life. He was 93. And he said, when I wanted to start at 17, people told me I was too young to start. And so I waited until I was 30. So at 30, I wanted to start. People told me I needed to gather more experience. So at 40, I said I could start now. I could start now. I had the experiences. Then people told me I need to wait to gather more experiences. This is why today, after first degree, you want to do master. After master, you want to do PhD. After PhD, there's still postdoc. There's no end to learning. So at 50, I said, I'm going to do it. Then they advised me to wait for pension. Now, if I retire now, I will have wasted all the time I put in. So I waited until I retired at 65. So at 65, I said, yes, I can pick up my broken dream. That is another title of my book. Pick up your broken. I could pick up my broken and do it. But they told me that work belongs to young people. So I listened to them. At 73, I said, no, nobody is going to deprive me of the greatness within me. But they told me that I will need technology knowledge. I will need to master technology to be able to do it. Where will I start learning from? But at 80, I believe I can learn everything. I can do anything. But the doctor has told me not to go out. How foolish I was to have listened to people all along. So don't let age limit you. You are never too young to start. You are never too old to start. Another one is, I'm not educated enough. I'm not educated enough. You know, there's always, if you're looking for what you don't have, you always have something that you don't have. And some of the best people who have done amazing things in this world, they are not PhD holders. They are just ordinary people in code who dare to be extraordinary. The Jeff Bezos, the Bill Gates, the Mark Zuckerberg, the Elon Musk, these people, then the Pastor Felix, they are not extraordinary because of their education. There's something called native intelligence, and all of us can tap into our native intelligence and bring something out. So how do you do that? Whenever you want to do something and you tell yourself I can't, immediately I call it positivize the negative. Positivize the negative. So when you say I can't, remind yourself I can do all things through Jesus who strengthens me. So when you say I don't have what it takes, reverse it and say I do have what it takes. When you say I'm too old, say no, this is the best time for me to do it. Come on.
Thank you very much, Dr. Felix. Just at home, I hope you are enjoying the show. But we have to go on the show too this afternoon. And then next time when we be coming on your way again, I believe you have some certain things that you want to ask. If you have any question, kindly click on the comment section, put down your question there. It will be attended to on the show again next time you'll be coming on your way. And then don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Dr. Felix, thank you for coming on the show today. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. I believe next time when you are being called upon, you will gladly answer us on the show
It
today.
will be my pleasure. And I want to dare you to be extraordinary. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Viewers at home, until next I come your way again, dare to be extraordinary. Dare to subscribe on the channel. God bless you.